is Wednesday night. It is 8:20 p.m., which means that it is 20 minutes past time for 10 Minutes with Tim. But now's a good time. Oh, you know what? Let me get my mic is not in the right position. I think that that'll probably be better for chatting if we put it right there. So let me make sure everything sounds good now that I move the mic. Yep, way better, way better. Okay, so I wanted to do an addendum to Ray's show from last night where he talked about would you rather be loved or respected, and kind of what the difference is between those two things according to him and whomever else might believe that way. And there is a difference between being loved and respected, in my opinion. I'm a firm believer that you can have respect for someone without loving them, without even liking them, for that matter. You can respect, like Ray talked a lot last night about respecting someone's, essentially like respecting their grind, right? Respecting their hustle, respecting their work ethic, respecting how they, you can have respect for the way someone interacts with their family. You can have, how they raise their kids. You could have respect for all those types of things about a person, but not really like that person or love that person, right? So I want to put my spin on what Ray talked about. And this is what that looks like. To me, respecting someone is a feeling that you have for that person. Loving someone is actions that you take. We like to think of love as a feeling, like I feel love for a person, but I disagree. I think that loving someone is the actions that you take to show that person the affection that you have for them. So whether that's a friend relationship or a significant other relationship, a spousal relationship, whatever the case is, it could be you and a mentor, it could be whatever the case is, whomever you have this affection for, because affection isn't just something that you have towards someone that you want to be in a relationship with on a like boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, or spousal type situation. In fact, now that I think about it, affection is actually similar to respect in that feeling situation, right? You can be have an attraction to someone, physical, mental, emotional, whatever. You can have an attraction to someone, but not be in love with that person. You can have affection towards someone and not be in love with that person. We misinterpret those words sometimes, affection and love and those types of things. So this is what I would say. Respect is a feeling that you have towards someone that you admire, you have admiration for, in some way. It might not necessarily be that you like that person, but you have some sort of admiration toward them, and therefore you respect them as a person or as a husband, or maybe they are a good business person and you respect them as a business person because you're also a business person and you're trying to get to that level that they're on, and so you respect them in that manner or whatever. Now, love to me is the actions that you take to prove that affection, right? Or that respect. So if I respect someone as a pastor, let's say my pastor at my church, like I respect them as a spiritual mentor, I respect them as a pastor, I respect the amount of effort that they put forth towards doing that particular job, all of those sorts of things, right? But that's just respect. Love, if I love that person, I'm also going to take action towards showing that respect. So I might, treat them differently than I treat someone that I don't love in that manner, right? You think spousally, you treat your wife or your husband much different than you treat other people, just by nature. You treat your really close friends different than you treat your acquaintances. That is, you can have respect for all of those people equally, but the love, the actions that you take towards them is what differentiates friend from like best friend from acquaintance, right? You can have respect for an acquaintance. You can have but you don't love that. You don't show that respect necessarily in the same manner. Like Ray talked about last night, how people can be one way to you in front of your face and another way to you in front of a different group of friends. Well, in my opinion, that person respects you as a person, but they don't love you because they're not showing those actions in that fashion. Their actions don't prove that respect, which actually brings up an interesting question of, if that's the case, do they even respect you really and truly? I think there's a fine line there between, bringing that up. I think there's a fine line of where does respect start and stop and love start and stop. If you really do respect a person truly, then your actions are going to be, by default, loving actions. You're not going to take malicious actions towards a person that you respect. You're definitely not going to take malicious actions towards a person that you truly love. So, at least you shouldn't be doing that. If you truly love this person, you can't take those types of actions. You can't take malicious actions towards them, because that's not what love is. To me, again, affection is a feeling, admiration is a feeling, respect is a feeling. These are the ways that you feel about a person. I admire this person. I respect this person. I'm attracted to this person. Not necessarily physically. That could be an emotional attraction, or a like an attraction because of their charisma. They're a charismatic person, and so I'm attracted to that charisma. It could be that type of attraction. I'm not necessarily speaking about strictly physical attraction. But again, loving someone is the actions that you take towards those feelings. So if I have, trying to come up with a really good example before my time's up, because we're at about, I don't know how many minutes we're at, but point being, we're at about 10 minutes almost. So I'm starting to rant, because that's how I do. Ranting and rambling and all that kind of jazz. So having affection towards someone or respect for someone is the feeling that you have for that person. You might respect the way your favorite musician went about becoming popular or whatever, right? But love, correct. Love is a, Ray just said in chat, love is a verb. Absolutely. To me, that's the case. A lot of people don't agree with that. A lot of people think that love is how you feel about someone. You say, I love you when you leave the house. Or you say, I love you to your friends, which is good. That's a good thing to do. I think that you should tell your friends that you love them. I think as a society, in America right now, we don't tell people enough that we love them. We definitely don't show people enough that we love them. And so that, I'm not talking about your spouse, I'm talking about your friends, just people, man. Like, people need to feel loved, and you never know where those actions are going to come from. If they're not getting those loving actions from at home, then they can get them from you. And that might be something like, giving a gift to the lady that works overnights at the gas station that you stop at on your way home from work or from the bar or whatever, right? Like, get her a Christmas gift. You know what I mean? Like, this old lady works behind the counter overnights, because her government check isn't enough to make ends meet or whatever, because she's semi-retired, but you know the scenario. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe you work on a resort and you have to park in one place and get trammed to or bused to the place that you actually work, right? Like, you have a parking lot that you park at, and then they bus you to the restaurant that you work at. Love is getting a gift or showing that admiration towards the guy that drives the bus, right? That's the actions that you're supposed to take. Respect is how you feel about that person. And so those are some little things you can try, especially in the holiday season that we're in right now. Just a random person that you see maybe once or twice a week. Back in the day, I could tell you the first names of the people that worked at the gas station at the corner of 331 and 98 in Santa Rosa Beach, because I was there like every single night after work. You know what I mean? But it never would have even occurred to me that person it might make their world if I would have just said something nice or done something nice towards them. And so those are loving actions versus the feelings of respect, admiration, attraction, etc. And that's my opinion on that, and my addendum to what Ray spoke on last night. We might even have to kind of touch on this a little bit more on Friday if it seems like there's more to talk about. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, it has been a little over 10 minutes, which means it is time for me to say goodbye. I'm Tim. This has been the GrayScale podcast, 10 Minutes with Tim, where I give you 10 minutes worth of my 2 cents. Thank you for watching. The GrayScale is going